Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Recently, we have been seeing a lot of progress on the moons coming to 3.0. There are 3 moons as we know. There are Selin, Daymar, and Yela. These are all part of the Crusader planet, as well as the moon-like asteroid Delamar, which holds the landing zone Levski. Now, each moon is distinctive and unique from one another. Recently, we have seen some footage of their progress, and it currently sounds like lighting, outposts, and terrain are the primary focus. So for Yela, we saw the sort of low-setting sun on this icy terrain with soft, subtle mountains and scatterings of rocks. We saw what looks like to be sort of strongish winds blowing clouds along the surface as the ice slowly melted in the sun. It does look like kind of an inhospitable place requiring maybe a thermal-style spacesuit. We'll have to wait and see for that one. But we got to see, for Selin, the geysers which are coming along and creating a unique landscape of smoking mounds across this moon. It just makes me think about Pitch Black. I really hope we get to fight off some flying alien creatures. I doubt it, but you never know. But the lighting looks like it's quite important for this moon to get it right, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like eventually. For Daymar, we saw a slight bit of plant life. It looks like a smoggy, cloudy atmosphere, giving the sun a bit of a haze. We also saw last week this insane flight from a QA tester as he approached the planet from space and flew through a valley within the moon itself. Firstly, the skills to do this are incredible, of course, but what got me thinking more was the scale. We saw the moon from a distance in space, and then up close we watched him go down into this valley, and it just makes me think how great it would be if there was a mission like a search and rescue mission to recover a pilot within the valley, which can only be reached by walking from one of the sections. It's hard to imagine from this flight that we saw, but if you were on foot, the scale of these valley walls are just crazy. They'll be towering above you. And if you were a smallish team of, say, 4, 5, 6 people, it would be so cool if you had to fight off maybe creatures, aliens, or nomads, who knows, all while maintaining your oxygen and your health levels. And this is just on one tiny moon around one planet in one system. The scale is real. But we've also seen a lot of the Levski landing zone, which is currently, the Levski landing zone is the location that we saw in the Gamescom video. So they're fleshing out the different procedural terrain elements for Delamar. It's it's very mountainous, quite spiky peaks. They say it's challenging to get the Levski station to blend well with the environment and the terrain, to avoid it looking like an afterthought, basically. But they're working on creating the large borehole, as this is an abandoned mining facility, so they're making great progress on the mining structures in and around the borehole to give them more of a functional feeling and a bit of a polish pass as well. They've also integrated garages on the lower levels and created roads leading up to it so that we can approach via the surface and park our vehicles. They've created an upper lobby which will connect the Levski interior to the planetary surface via airlocks, plus serve as a place for a future air rail to outlying landing zones. So it sounds as though there may be eventually, if not for 3.0 launch, but be other areas around the Levski landing zone which we can travel to. Maybe other surface outposts, but all of which will not have to be flown to, but travelled via maybe a land vehicle or even this monorail system that they may include later on. I do love the idea of having to take the monorail to new locations, looking out the window at the passing sites of this once was mining facility. I do hope they include missions requesting people to take supplies via the surface to these outposts, just encouraging a bit more land travel than just flying like straight to places. The approach that we saw as well on this image looks so cool. I can just imagine walking down there with friends. But on a final note, they're working on outposts still. This is what will populate the moons that we get to visit. Currently, they're getting the light group entity implemented, which will cycle through certain states, so like low power mode, emergency power mode, even things like hazardous environments if, say, like the hydroponics outpost had a breakdown. They also mentioned that they want it to feel interesting, so if you're caught in a storm and you take refuge in one of these outposts, it won't just be really dull just sitting and waiting. Now, obviously, there's probably still a long way to go before these moons and outposts are complete. Things like weather and atmosphere will create such an immersive feeling when exploring these locations, be it alone or with friends, and I personally cannot wait for that. The idea of simply standing on a moon with the sounds of the weather and, say, the lighting from either a dusk or a dawn sun will just be out of this world. But anyway, I just wanted to bring some attention to these moons. They're looking very cool. We do have a giveaway currently, so do subscribe if you want to enter and just comment on any video throughout the month of May to win a Star Citizen starter package. This is all thanks to my patrons who help me create these videos by donating money every month. If you are interested in helping me to further my YouTube channel and keep these videos coming, follow the link below in the description and be sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch and Instagram, and I shall see you next time.